dance for joy or loss.
So, welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we usually look at cars that are available for a budget between £1,000 and £5,000, but today we've exceeded the budget a little bit, not by much. You can get one of these F54 mini Clubmans for not much more than £5,000. This is worth a lot more than that, but you can get them for maybe about £7,000 on the lower end. But yes, anyway, hopefully you'll forgive me for that. So this is a 2016 mini Clubman Cooper with the chili pack and the automatic transmission. But is it any good? Should you care? Why, let's find out, shall we? So the F54 type of mini Clubman was released in 2015, and it's literally just been discontinued. The final edition as like a run-out model was introduced in March 2023, and it's now June 2023 at the time of recording. It followed on from the previous generation of mini Clubman, which actually only had one rear door for passengers on one side of the car. This one has two, so this is actually not a 5-door estate car, it's a 6-door estate car, which I think is probably one of the only ones I've ever seen in my life. I can't think of any other ones on sale. So we'll have a look at the rear doors at the moment. You're very aware of them though while you're driving, because if I look in the rear view mirror, I can actually see this enormous sort of bar in the middle of the mirror, which is of course the divide between the two doors. The platform is the same as a lot of minis and BMWs, something like the X1 and things like that. For example, the 1 Series current generation one's actually based on this as well. It's an extended version, of course, of the F55 and F56 minis, and we've had one of those on the channel already, coincidentally supplied by Simon from Langley Prestige in Chelmsford, who was let me have a go at this today as well. The base engine in the Clubman for this generation was a 1.5 3-cylinder engine with 100 horsepower in the 1 models. In this Cooper model, it's the same 1.5 3-cylinder, but with 134 horsepower, whether we go for the manual 6-speed or this, I think this is a 6-speed auto, later cast as an 8-speed auto. Then you go up to the Cooper S model, you get a 2-litre engine with 189 horsepower, although after 2020 that was detuned to 178 horsepower. And then you get into the crazy stuff, the John Cooper Works cars. The least powerful of those is a 227 brake horsepower version of the 2-litre engine, but some of them have a 301 brake horsepower version of that engine, which I've tried in a John Cooper Works GP2 3-door mini, and that was brutally fast. That I think is only available with the 8-speed auto. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We do talk about is the quite pleasant way this car drives. Some cars had adjustable suspension, this doesn't have that, but I maybe would recommend it because it's very firm. It's very firm riding. The steering is very good, it's very well weighted, as a lot of mini models are, and this really is a rival for things like, I don't know, a Ford Focus or a Volkswagen Golf. It's not really a rival so much for state versions of those. It's more just well-sided hatchback in terms of the size, and it handles completely differently from any of those. think we'll try the mode selector here. We'll go with green mode, which has changed the colour of this central display here from green. Now it's on pink for some reason. So it's low consumption, driving fun. Let's go for mid mode, typical mini driving fun. It says it's gone yellow and now pink again. And then it says maximum go-kart feel sport mode. And I can feel the engine is a lot more responsive now. Do we go sport plus? No, we'll go back to the green mode. There we go. I like the green, but I don't like it when it just goes on to pink. If somebody obviously who's owned this car has maybe preferred that. I think possibly this car might have been owned by a lady viewers, which is no problem at all. These cars do very much appeal to ladies, I think. One of the reasons why you buy this car over the standard mini hatch or mini 5-door, the F54 or F56 models, is the practicality. You either absolutely adore these twin loading doors, or you don't. And we've got two rear wipers, viewers. Those of you who like a certain Welsh-based YouTube channel will find that rather amusing. You do need quite a lot of clearance to actually sort of park. Actually, I've left a good enough space. The parking sensors on this particular model do help, but they probably require more space to open than just a normal hatchback would. The boot's 360 litres, which is about 20 litres less than, say, a Mark 7.5 Golf that would have been on sale for most of this car's life. Low blind as well because, well, it is an estate. And we've got twin LED boot lights. Now, lifting up this floor here, you can take this floor out. There's something underneath there, but it's not the spare wheel. I have just checked and removed that. The spare wheel's not there. I'm not even sure you could get a spare wheel on this car, to be honest with you. Instead, we've got the tyre inflation kit there. Air compressor will be around somewhere, I think, which is annoying, but there we go. We'll just put this low blind back. These cars are very much kind of ones that you either want or you don't. And if you really like this kind of style, you can actually even get this with an electric door opening mechanism for both of those, which would be a party piece for people if they are into that kind of thing. So yes, a 6-door car, which is really weird. Let's have a look round the front first. So we've got 17-inch wheels on this particular Cooper. LED daytime running lights, which is nice. Fog lamps. Big kind of sort of grille on the front. This is a pre-facelift one. The facelift ones do look a bit different from this. And the contrasting coloured roof and the mirror caps, which look good. This car has got the chili pack, which does have some kind of extra styling and keyless entry and automatic wipers. It's also got the sort of half leather interior, but for some reason there's not a lot of leather in the back. It's only the sort of seat faces, as you can see sort of here as well. We've got sports seats though, which is good. I like having those. If you're taller, then that's the best thing. Get more comfort. Let's see what it's like actually getting into the back. Let's just move this advertising stuff out of the way. Quirky interior door handles, typical of these things. The only thing I find about this car, and it's the same for virtually every Mini that I test, is that it's really dark in here. It's not as bad as the previous one that had a black headliner. This has got a white headliner, so it's a bit better. And of course we've got more glass there. We've got We've got more windows. We've got 3 more windows in this than a standard mini hatch, but it still just feels a little bit dark. Windows are relatively small, so we've got that characteristic interior door handle, electric rear windows, a door bin here, and some climate control vents. Actually got some mat pockets here and lumbar adjustment. That's pretty handy because the seat did feel very firm when I was in it earlier on. We don't have a central armrest in here. We do have some isofix points though, as you can see there. Got them on the 2 outer seats. And actually the headroom is pretty good. It's a lot more spacious in here than the standard 3-door or 5-door mini hatch. Much better. So yeah, this is definitely a rival more for, you know, the standard things like the 1 Series itself, the Volkswagen Golf, Audi A3, things like that. Yes, let's get in the front. That's probably where most of mini drivers imagine they're going to spend the majority of their time, isn't it? Right, hopefully this hasn't locked itself again. No, it hasn't. That's good. Leave that open. Strangely, this chili pack gives you the automatic wipers, but there's no automatic lights in this car. It's weird. Nice sports seats with the, you know, well, it's not really half leather, it's more like quarter leather, isn't it? There's not actually much leather there at all. Do we get soft touch door tops? Sort of. I can't tell really. I twisted that paper mat. It's a very bad view. Let's untwist that. Big sort of organ pedal accelerator, like on a lot of BMW models. So if we put key down there somewhere, focus, aux in, USB. That's turning off. We'll put a stop start. I like the fact that we do have these little rocker switches like on the very early minis from the sort of say the 60s. But obviously they've got these bars in the middle to stop you impaling your knees on those in an accident, which is a sensible thing to do. There's the automatic transmission. Electronic handbrake. I suppose it doesn't matter so much if you're in an auto, does it, if you've got an electronic handbrake. Little storage compartment there. And another one under there. And a soft touch dash. I don't like one touch indicators, viewers. You've heard me rant about that before, so I'm not going to do that too much. But things do feel well made in here. If we start her up, I think probably we need to put a foot on the brake to start the car. We can see we've got pink mood lighting. Yeah, it's not really what I would personally have. So if we change it to the green drive mode, you can see we've got green mode, low consumption driving fun. Mid mode, typical driving, mini driving fun with yellow. And then we've got maximum go-kart feel with the red sports setting. And then it goes back to pink. I think I'm going to have to work out how to turn that off. And then I'll put it back to the way it was, because this is my car. Just turn it off for a second. So whilst we're here, we might as well have a look at the infotainment system. It's quite small. I'm pleased that actually we've got the speedo here. The old R50 minis that were launched in 2001 have a speedo in the middle. Later generations of Mini eventually kind of moved the controllers in front of the driver, because that's where most people would have wanted them. The reason why in the classic Minis they had the controls in the centre was it was easier to paint the car if you put was like a spindle through the middle of the body shell when you were painting it, and you could turn it through 360 degrees to paint it. And so they put the speedo there, which is interesting, but you know, it's just better for most people to have it in the middle. If I just press the switch again, hopefully we can get this to come. There you go. You can see the fuel gauge is there, and I think that's a temperature gauge at the top there. Obviously we've got the rev counter, we've got the speedometer there, and a very, very tiny little colour display here. See if we can look through if there are any other things we can see. No, I don't think you can adjust that to anything else. I think it's just what it shows, as far as I know. cruise control switches here. That's for adjusting the stereo volume. There's the buttons for the phone connectivity. I'm really relieved in this car to see we've actually got not only dual zone climate control, but all the buttons are conventional buttons, and they're in the place where you expect them to be. There's the fan speed, temperature for the passenger, temperature for the driver. It's just much better. Direction of the air is with this button here. To put it on automatic, you press it there. And then we've got a recirc button, air conditioning, maximum air conditioning. Recently it's been so hot, so that would be very useful. Multi-stage heated seats as well, which is nice. And then up here we got the mood lighting. I'll see if we can actually change that. So what we need to do, rather than kind of stabbing away at the screen, which will do nothing because it's not a touch screen, we're going to have to use the controls down here. But if I press mode, what does that do? I think that's the mode for the stereo, isn't it? Right, okay, we'll start down here then. Menu. Oh, right, menu. No. Back, right, there we go, that's better. Right, okay, so navigation, we've seen that, we can see where we are. Radio, multimedia, telephone, contacts, we won't go into that one. MIDI connected, medical information, okay. Settings, let's see if we can change the mood lighting. There we go, look, you can actually change the instrument cluster display, and you can show green information, range, all that sort of stuff, which it shows just there. Brilliant. So if we go back, pressing that button there, central display, we might be able to look at the mood lighting. Yes, brightness at night. If we go this way, where's the mood lighting in here? Ah, that's what we want, isn't it, viewers? Ambient lighting, brightness, exterior lighting. So yeah, you easily sort of change that off, and welcome lights and all sorts of extraordinary things. Excellent. Back. Gosh, there's so many things in here. It gets to navigation. It's very similar to BMW's iDrive system, which isn't a surprise because BMW developed this system themselves as well. But yeah, you know, once you're actually used to it, it's very small, this windscreen. That's the extent of it for a modern car. But then in an original Mini, it's even smaller. So we got big door bins for all sorts of things. One thing we don't need to have is power folding mirrors, which is extraordinary. Presumably that's part of the, you know, option pack. This has got a comfort pack in it and a chili pack. The chili pack was about £3 or something, I think. And the vast majority of Minis tend to be specified with the chili pack. Excellent. My secret mission documents go straight in. I like that, viewers. I like that an awful lot. We haven't quite found the setting to change this pink lighting, but I think we'll just leave that alone. As I said, this isn't my car. And if you need to open the bonnet, it's down there and you pull it twice, and the OBD2 port is just there. That's handy. Right, well, let's have a look under the bonnet then. So having pulled the bonnet twice, it is, I suppose, a bit easier to do that twice rather than fiddling for a little catch, which there isn't one in this car. You just pull the bonnet twice. We find a 1.5 three-cylinder engine with 134 horsepower, exactly the same as the Mini Cooper hatch that we had on the channel back in March when we filmed in this very location. So you can get 2 litre in various power outputs as well. You can see there's a little bit of room to put a bigger engine in here. All this usual stuff is quite easy to find. Sort of coolant, oil, that kind of stuff. I don't know where you check the automatic transmission fluid though in here. But big plastic covers, of course, and a huge piece of metal for the bonnet. It's very interestingly shaped as well. Big headlamps. Windscreen washer fluid is down here. Don't forget the engines have cam belts in them, so you know that's not a problem when you're trying to do something. But if you need to do anything else, it could be a bit of a problem, although I can see the air filter is easy enough to change. Battery must be somewhere else entirely in the car, maybe under the back seat or something, because the positive terminal is there if you need to jump start it or something like that, or give somebody else a jump. Right, that's quite enough waffling. Let's go out for a little spin, shall we? This colour is actually really nice, whether you're a lady or a gentleman. I think this is a really nice colour you'll see on the external shots of the car. Very pleasant indeed. With this automatic gearbox, everything seems very smooth. I think it's a BMW unit or a ZF unit. Steering is very, very well weighted. Even in this, you know, the green mode, it doesn't actually alter the weight of the steering, which I quite like. I like having just a sort of, I know it's artificial because it's an electric setup, but just a little bit more simulated feel is good. I like that. Transition though is a little bit weird. I feel like I'm very, very, very high up for some reason. At least it's not as bouncy as a classic Mini is. I've driven a couple of those and it doesn't feel anything like that, apart from maybe just the, if you put it in sport mode, the maximum go-kart feel. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Let's now look at some F54 Mini Clubman trim levels. When the car was first launched in 2015, you just had the kind of engine size designation, which was, you know, 1 Cooper, Cooper S, or John Cooper Works, and then you went for, you know, an option pack, so you got extremely long trim level names, and I'll read one of them now. So, for example, the Cooper S Chili Pack and Navigation Plus Pack Sport Automatic. Just insane. So what they did was actually put trim levels in for the first time. I don't mean engine size designations, I mean trim levels. So you have the Classic and the Exclusive and the Sport, which were trim levels on top of the designation of the engine size. But nevertheless, you still had some other ones as well. So more than the one, there was the One City Classic. There was the Cooper Classic, the Cooper Exclusive, the Cooper Sport, and then some other special editions, the Cooper Black Pack, the Cooper Shadow Edition, and the Cooper Untold Edition. If it was untold, why am I talking about it? And then Cooper S Final Edition, Shadow Edition, Untold Edition, and the John Cooper Works. And that's really a good place to sort of stop viewers, because this car has gone off sale now. There's a thing called a Mini Aceman coming out quite soon, it's supposed to be an electric car. And that one, as far as I know, is sort of replacing this. But anyway, should you buy this for your hard-earned budget of, well, above £5,000? Well, it really depends on what you want. I mean, they are very, very engaging to drive. The ride's a little bit firm. I would go for that adjustable suspension so you don't have to sort of, you know, rock around everywhere. The styling is rather whether you absolutely love it or you don't like it, and it's very subjective. I mean, a lot of, you know, Minis do engender quite sort of emotional connection to cars in a like a different way. They're almost like tribal things, and you either like that or you don't. I do like the way this car looks, actually. I think the drive experience is very engaging, but I'm not quite sure it's for me. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video in the comment below. Thank you again to Simon at Landy Prestige in Chelmsford for letting me have a go in this. And we shall see you again soon for more sometimes reasonably priced motoring.